So Keene State and Castleton going at it, and they met 2 games this past weekend. They split the 2 games, and earlier in the year, the Spartans won the game here by a score of 10-1. That was back on November the 22nd here at the Spartan Arena. The winner of this game will play at number 1 Norwich in the semi on Saturday. Again, Castleton, the number 4 seed. Keene State, the number 5 seed. Gianna McCusker in goal for the Spartans off to your right, and Ai Chung for Keene State off to your left. Keene State in the black and red, Castleton in the white and green. You're watching the Flow College Network from the Spartan Arena. Brightman on the draw against Ellie Patrick for Keene State. And we're underway at the Spartan Arena as Carter backhands it into the Keene State zone. Backboard it is to Sousa, number 6. And number 16 back as well, Ellie Patrick, but they can't clear it out. Kept in by Carter. Sent it back to the end boards in behind the goaltender Chung. And it comes loose to Tabby Jones along the near side as Keene State slides it up to center, but Carter rifles the puck back into the Keene State zone. Back forward to Grace Bazin, a Vermonter. She is from Bellows Falls, Vermont. She went to Bellows Falls Union High School. Actually, specifically the village of Westminster, Vermont, where Bellows Falls Union High School is actually located. That's Orscott picking it off in the zone to the slot, and the save made by Chung from the slot. That shot from the near side goes wide from Brooke Noble as Noble is out there for the Spartans along with Jorgensen. And also Meg Aiken is in, and Orscott, and also Hurlbut at the points as it's the Spartans try to come out to the point and all the way back in her own zone to grab it as Grace Hurlbut. Slides it up to center, chases it down over the red line and fires into the Keene State zone. Here's Schliebener to grab it at the corner as the Spartans change up. Taylor Adams is out there. Moa Carlson is out there. Also out there for the Spartans, Hoffmeister. And also out is Rainey Lay. Keene State managed to slide it up to center, Lorelei Norman, but back over the line, Taylor Adams. Her shot from the high slot deflected to the far corner. Adams had a hat trick in the 10-1 victory here back in November against Keene State. Adams tried to center it, and it was knocked away. Carlson had it for a moment. A battle there also is Emily Edmonds for Keene State. Spartans in the Keene State zone. In the corner, Moa Carlson overskated it. Rainey Lay at the left point, sent it to the circle, picked off there by Pamajba, but the Spartans get it back. Carlson from the slot, wrister and the glove saved there by the goaltender, Ai Chung, and she hangs on. Scoreless in the early going was 17:39 to go here in the first period. Keene State averages 1.8 goals per game, gives up 3.0 goals per game. Castleton, 2.3 goals per game. Offensively, gives up 2.7 per game. And, of course, the 4-5 matchup is always, well, in theory, going to be a close game because of the closeness in the seeding and the closeness of the overall records on the year. Here's a shot by Ford, deflected away, came back toward the middle. Keene State looking to control, getting to it. Annika Nelson sent it to the end boards, trying to dig it out there, and finally shoveling it around is Patrick far side as a penalty is coming up for high sticking. With 17:06 to go here in the first period. And we'll have our first power play opportunity of the game. It'll be Castleton, the high sticking call against Keene State. And going off will be Manny D'Souza. So the Spartans in the early going on the power play in a scoreless hockey game. And that shot save made by Chung. That shot came in from Olivia Carter from the point. Now Moa Carlson with it to Noble. Out near the line, had it blocked away. Moa Carlson picks it up along the far boards. Right to left, it's tapped out to center, and back is Carter. Ahead to Carlson, back over the line. Here is Adams. Carter goes to Noble at the right circle, fires in wide off the end boards. Carlson overskated it off the rebound off the boards, cleared out by the Owls. Backboard it is Olivia Carter. Minute 15 to go on the Spartan power play. Early going, 16-17 to go in the first period. It's scoreless. Spartans move it up to center with Schliebener. Schliebener over the line. Ellie Schliebener drops it there for Jorgensen. Schliebener at the corner, send it in behind the net. Far side, wanted to go over to Brightman. Brightman got it from Arscott, now to Vaughn at the end boards. Now Jorgensen with 46 seconds to go on the Spartan power play. Jorgensen back to Brightman, her shot blocked away, out to Arscott. Brightman deflected back to Arscott near the line. Now Schliebener from the left circle, save, and on the rebound, save again by Chung. On the rebound, stepping in was Brightman. 5 shots on goal in the early going for the Spartans. Chung, an outstanding couple of saves right there for Keene State. 30 seconds to go on the Spartan power play. Off the face-off, Spartans with it. Arscott out near the line. Now to Brightman, right circle, scores from the circle. Michaela Brightman on the power play, and Castleton takes a 1-0 lead. Junior from Acushnet, Massachusetts, her 6th goal of the year. The Spartans are off to pick up the lead here. Always important in any game, but certainly in the postseason. They're coming with 15:27 to go in the first period. Power play goal for Michaela Brightman. Off the draw, Spartans back over the line. Jorgensen far side, and on the side of the net, picked out of the ear, the glove of Chung. Spartans, by the way, up to that on the power play on the year, 15%, now 14 of 87. One of the assists went to Annika Nelson. Didn't catch the other one. We'll have all the stats for you after the first period. Annika Nelson's on the ice right now. Of course, that's always subject to change on the assist. Here's Nelson in behind the net. Both teams at full strength. Trying to send it to the middle. Knocked away. Back to Annika Nelson out near the line. Sends it to Rachel McNeil in behind the net. Now along the far boards, it's Carter. Goes back to McNeil at the end boards. Back, wanted to go to Carter by her. Kept in at the line by Culp. Culp getting it back as was deflected back out to her. And Keene State can't clear it out on the second opportunity. They managed to squeeze it out to center, and back is Grace Hurlbut at center ice for the Spartans. Sends it back into the Owl zone. Back is Bazin for the Owls. Lost it as Hurlbut picked it off. Got it deflected back toward the far corner. Spartans on the forecheck here. Moa Carlson is out there. Arscott as well out near the line. And backhands it in behind the net. Back again, number 17, Grace Bazin for Keene State. Keene State trying to get something going along the near boards. Off the near boards, Tabby Jones from outside the line. Throws it all the way in on McCusker, and she hangs on. That, even though it came from downtown, the first shot on goal for Keene State. here in this hockey game. The 7-1 lead, shots on goal for the Spartans. Spartans lead 1-0 with 13:42 to go here in the first period. Off the draw in the Castleton zone. And Castleton does control. Eventually it's Schliebner up to center. Over the line to the far boards. Fires and the right pad save for Chung. Rebound all the way out toward Rainey Lay. Trying to play it at the corner. The Owls managed to clear it out to center and clear it into the Spartan zone. And we are going to have a penalty on Castleton here for tripping. So Keene State going on the power play. The tripping call is on Karis Erickson. The Spartans. Keene State, Keene State on the power play is 11 for 90, 12%. Spartans on the penalty kill, 89%. So Keene State trailing 1-0, looks to tie it up here on the power play. With 13:10 remaining here in the first period. In deep, Iantowska comes around near side, out to center. Backtracking is Edmonds back in her own zone, shadowed by Aiken in behind the net. Minute 40 to go on the Keene State Owl power play. Iantowska still with it, circles around to the far side. Dropped it in behind the net over is Emma McNeil. Spinelli back toward Emma McNeil. Around far side over is Patrick. And a battle there with Carlson. Managed to slide it up to center. It's a hand pass, though, on Moa Carlson. There are two McNeils playing number 23. Emma McNeil for Keene State. And the Spartans do have number 13, Rachel McNeil. So two McNeils. Keep that in mind. One for each team. Not related. Face off in the Spartan zone. Minute 7 left on the Keene State power play. Dazen from the high slot. Shot through traffic, deflected the near side. Owls looking to still control. Comes to the top of the left circle. That's saved by McCusker. That shot came in from Patrick. Over for Dazen. Arscott right there. Also in a battle is Lorelei Norman, and the Spartans skate out of there with it. And a long pass up to center. Adams looks to chase it down all the way in the Keene State zone, but Keene State back for it. It is to Sousa. Center right up the middle. Finke, who scored the game winner in overtime in the Keene State victory last weekend, 2-1. There's a save there by McCusker with 20 seconds to go on the Keene State power play. Face off to the right of McCusker. .11:35 to go here in the first period. Out to the line. Goods in the left side, and that shot by Edmonds knocked down. Went right back to Good. Shovels it in behind the net. 8 seconds to go on the power play. Back out to the left point. That's sent to the boards from the left point as it went in wide. The penalty over. Both teams at full strength. Good, top of the right circle. Shovels it in behind McCusker. Both teams at full strength. Keene State couldn't cash in on its power play opportunity, but Keene State still has it in the zone. To the end boards. Over is Spinelli. Keene State trying to come back out to the point, and that's picked off by Vaughn up the center. Got twisted around at center ice. The puck trickled into the Owl zone, and Vaughn finally does send it all the way in on Chung. She leaves it behind the net to Edmonds. Can't clear it out. Annika Nelson there on the steal, and she goes to the ice. Play continues. Thought there might have been a call there for a moment. Keene State out to center. Here's Patrick, and a score! Went right to left, and it's a tie hockey game at 1-1 with 10:23 to go in the first period. Keene State couldn't cash in on his power play, but with the teams at full strength to cash in there, and it's going right to left, and finding an opening was Ellie Patrick on the goal, tying it up at 1 apiece. Ellie Patrick out of Belfast, Northern Ireland. That's her 7th goal of the year. Great individual effort for Patrick. Coming with 10:23 to go in the first period. Quarterfinal action in the Little East Conference in women's hockey here at the Spartan Arena. A 1-1 hockey game. Castleton tried to control in the zone, knocked out to center, and Spartans have it back in their own zone. Hurlbut sends it to Culp. Culp along the near boards by the Castleton bench. Battle there with Pomajba. Back it goes to Hurlbut for the Spartans. Sends it up to center. All the way back, Mallory Stewart in behind her own net. Brooke Noble there on the forecheck for Castleton. That went back to DeMayo. Back to the end board. Stewart can't clear it out. Kept in by Hoffmeister at the line. Sent it in behind the net. Keene State looking to control and can't get it out of the zone. It was Aiken that kept in it for a moment. Keene State clears back into the Spartan zone. And back forward it is Rainey Lay for Castleton. Far side up for Moa Carlson. Back to Hoffmeister. Around to Lay. Lay along the near boards up for Brooke Noble. To the middle, Moa Carlson. She sends the puck into the Owl zone in behind the net. Aiken on the chase. Grabs it down low, left circle. Out to Schliebener, who initially fanned on it. Finally does keep it alive to Carlson. Carlson in behind the net, circles around far side. Out to Carter, back to Carlson out near the line, and it's squeezed out to center. Carlson has to play it, sends it across, and back forward is Mesa Ford. Now back out to center, back into the Spartan zone, and back forward Carter. Sends it into the Keene State zone, but backtracking and grabbing it is Basin for Keene State. And drops it off the end boards for Edmonds. Edmonds far side over for Finke. Spartans, though, grab it. As Carlson had it for a moment, and also Carter, but now sending the puck into the zone is Emily Edmonds for Keene State, and back is Carter behind her own goaltender for the Spartans. With it now, Schliebener off the pass from Carlson. Over the line, wrister glove by Chung, and she hangs on. 9 shots on goal unofficially for Castle and 4 for Keene State. 7:55 to go first period. All tied up at 1 apiece. Indeed, it was Ellie Patrick getting the tying goal for the Owls. Face off to the right of I Chung. Up the draw. It's a shot blocked away. That was Hurlbut that stepped into it, top of the left circle. Puck along the near boards. Owls clear it out to center. Arscott couldn't quite keep it in at the line. Finally does get it to Erickson to the right circle. Erickson's pass blocked away. Over is Brightman, who's got the Spartan goal. But the Owls have it now and scoop it up toward center ice. It was kept in for a moment, but back out to center. Hurlbut for the Spartans. Hurlbut with it. Grace Hurlbut sends the puck into the Owl zone, and back for the Owls is Kensley Good. Kensley Good around far side to Stewart. Owls get it up to center, but that was poked away by the Spartans into the zone far side. On a chase there is Megan Culp to the corner. Coming over is Annika Nelson. It goes in behind Chung, the goaltender. Back is Good for Keene State. Picked off. Arscott swings it around far boards. Keene State trying to clear it out. The Spartans keep it in the zone. Send it in behind Chung. Now coming over, it is Rachel McNeil for the Spartans, trying to one-hand it. Keene State got it out toward the line, kept in by Annika Nelson at the line as the Spartans look to change up, and they do, and the Owls clear it out to center. At center ice, right there it is Rainey Lay. Drives it all the way in on Chung, and Chung leaves it for DeMayo. The Spartans on the forecheck pick it off with Schliebener. Carlson was there trying to step into it. The Owls do manage to get it out to center. Owls, Spinelli trying to get to it. It's back in the Spartan zone. Spinelli on a chase. Spartans can't control. It comes out near the line. That's Finke. Now in the middle, the shot by Ian Tosca and the save by McCusker. 5:58 to go in the first period in the Women's Hockey Little East Conference quarterfinals. The winner will play at number 1 seed Norwich in the semi on Saturday. 5:58 to go in the first period, all tied up at 1 apiece. Face-off for the right of McCusker. The Owls win the face-off. That, though, knocked down by Arscott at the circle. Back out to center, shoveled back into the zone. Here's an opportunity for the Owls. Trying to get to it was Finke. Sent it toward the end boards. And Tosca is right there. The other, actually, Finke was in behind the net. Couldn't quite get to it. The puck loose far side. And over it is Jorgensen for Castleton. Slides it to the middle. Picked off at center ice by DeSouza. Sousa getting it back, center ice circle. On the right wing to Jones. Jones bounces it far corner of the Spartan zone, and back forward is Arscott. Arscott slides it up the center. That goes right by Jorgensen in the Keene State zone. Owls get it out to center. Noble knocked it back into the zone, but back out to center for the Owls. And Jones sends it across to Emma McNeil. She tried to drop it to Patrick, but it was out at center ice, and the Spartans pick it off back the other way. That pass on the left wing for Amanda Vaughn. Trying to chase it down in behind the net, then lost control. Keene State couldn't keep control, but does now, and shovels it out to center and back into the Spartan zone. And back forward is Mesa Ford for Castleton. Pass right up the middle to Michaela Brightman. Brightman sends it to the end boards. Kensley Good there for Keene State, center the far corner. Vaughn, though, got it back to Brightman. On the forecheck, now Annika Nelson. Out of Carter, her shot is blocked in the slot. Comes back out to Ford, backpedals toward her own line. And Keene State managed to send the puck in. Wiseman there for Keene State. Spartans get it out to center for Vaughn. In the middle, poked away. Keene State the other way. That shot by Wiseman, saved by McCusker. As in behind the net. As play continues, and the Spartans back the other way. Pass to Nelson from Culp. Annika Nelson trying to go back to Culp of the slot, but Keene State in transition back the other way. Up the center and over the line. And it's going to be an offside call. Tied at 1 with 3:42 to go in the first period here at the Spartan Arena in women's hockey. Finke, Ian Tosca, Spinelli all in. And Bazin and DeSouza for Keene State. Aiken taking the draw for the Spartans. Spartans win the draw. It's Jorgensen. Also out there is Brooke Noble. Noble taps it ahead into the Keene State zone. Left circle. Puts on a move. Nice job by Bazin on the back check. Noble getting it back. Sent it side of the net. Blocked away. A couple of opportunities, and they score. Maddie Jorgensen had a couple of chances at it and scores as the Spartans retake the lead by a score of 2-1 with 3:25 to go in the first period. Maddie Jorgensen on the goal. She kept it alive, swatted at it once, and maybe just got a little bit of a piece of it, but on the second opportunity scored. She's out of Port McNeil, British Columbia. That's her third goal of the year. 2-1 Castleton. And coming with 3:25 to go here in the first period. Play back in off the score by the Spartans to take that 2-1 lead. Spartans with it back in their own zone, and back it is Hoffmeister. Cross ice Well, they give the goal. The announcement is to a Noble, but I still think it was Jorgensen. We'll wait for the official scoring after the first period. I think Jorgensen got it. Noble was right there. They did announce Noble, but we'll see what it is after we pick up the stats after the period. 2:53 to go in the first period. We've got an icing call against Keene State. It looked to me like it was Jorgensen. She had a couple of swats at it. Noble was there, though, too, but we'll see. More importantly, the Spartans have a 2-1 lead. Face off to the right of Chung in the Owl zone. Off the draw, loose. Ford sends it down low over Taylor Adams in behind the net. Down the side of the net, saved by Chung. That was Schlebener, and then Carlson went down in the crease. Set in behind the net. Carlson right there. Puck on edge. Now far side over is Patrick. Patrick slides it the length of the ice. Should be an icing call against the Owls. And no icing called here, however, as play continues. Back is Vaughn. And Vaughn in her own zone. Sends it along the near boards up to Michaela Brightman, and the Spartans are called for an icing. With 2:08 to go here in the first period, 2-1 Castleton. The announcement was Noble. I think it was Jorgensen, but we'll see here. That's for that goal. Brightman also scoring. Brightman scored on the power play for Castleton. The goal for Keene State was Ellie Patrick. Play back in the Spartan zone. Moa Carlson sent cross ice to Vaughn up to center over the line. Brightman down the middle. Vaughn still with it. Short side, and Chung made the save, cleared out to center, and back is Angie Palmer now. And Palmer sends it near side over for Hurlbut, who fires the puck off the far boards into the Owl zone. Back for the Owls is Stewart. Owls eventually get it up to center. Over the line, and sending it to the middle there was Ian Tosca. And that turnaround shot was Ian Tosca getting it back, and that's deflected there all the way in on McCusker, and she covers up. Minute 23 to go in the first period. Face off to the right of McCusker. It'll be Ava Iantoska on the draw against the Spartans. Meg Aiken. The far side over is Spinelli. Out to the left point, Bazin, and it deflected to the end boards. Keene State still controlling and sent it behind the net. Over there was Iantoska. Keene State still controlling. Out to Bazin, top of the left circle. Save by McCusker. And off the rebound along the near side, Brooke Noble plays it and steers it toward the line, deflected into the zone by Jorgensen. 52 seconds to go in the first period. Castleton has a 2-1 lead. Jorgensen skates it to the far corner. Sends it to Aiken. Aiken sends it out to the left point to Lay. Tried to shoot it through traffic. It was stopped on the way through. Jorgensen picks it off of the circle, deflected to the far corner to Sousa. Rolls it around, looking to step into it is Rainey Lay. Does to Noble in behind the net, hit the side of the net as she tried to send it to the middle. And Keene State getting it out to center with Tabby Jones. On the right wing, it's Patrick, who's got the goal, sent it in wide. Played by Hoffmeister for the Spartans, up to Moa Carlson. Tipped all the way into the Keene State zone by Taylor Adams. Back is DeMayo for Keene State. 7 seconds to go in the period. Good is back there for Keene State. Spartans keep it in near the line, and that shot to the middle blocked away as time expires, ending the first period. Unofficially in the first period, Spartans had 11 shots on goal. The Owls had 8, and Castleton has a 2-1 lead after a period, and we'll have the official stats coming up here in just a moment. And from the Spartan Arena, you're watching The Flow College Network, women's hockey quarterfinal action in the Little East Conference. And we'll wait for the stats in the second period coming up as well.